How's it going, everybody? Jeff Lerner here. So you want to make money while you're in college? Well, I got you covered. I'm going to cover side hustles that you can do right now without needing startup capital. You college students, assuming you're a college student, which would make sense given that you're watching a video about side hustles for college students, you have so many skills already, things that you may take for granted, things like writing, things like basic, online graphic design, creating presentations, using PowerPoint, even knowing how YouTube works, that frankly, a lot of the older generations need and don't have. And you can be making money right wherever you are, on campus, at home, right around you locally. There's just so many options, and I'm gonna cover quite a few of them here in this video. So before we do that, please do me a favor, go ahead and hit subscribe, give this video a like, and let's get into talking about creating some cash flow for you right now. Okay, first off, there are two ways of earning money. You can trade your time for money, like hour by hour, or you can put your time into building assets that pay you for years to come. Myself, I am an entrepreneur. I like to build assets. I am not technically employed. I have not actually had a job since I was 16 years old, but that does not mean that I don't make good money. In fact, I make more money than most people I know who do have jobs. And I do it in the same way that I'm going to teach you in this video, leveraging the time that I already have and leveraging skills that I've been able to learn. That's what we're going to talk about, all right? So let's talk about the top side hustles for college students. The first thing you can do as a college student is to proctor tests. You're literally already on campus, right? You might even live there. And you can actually get paid just to monitor other students taking tests in college. You can even contact local high schools about opportunities to proctor tests or standardized tests like the SATs and the ACTs. Most professors or teachers would jump at the chance to have some help with having their tests supervised so they don't just have to sit there at their desk, which they already do most of every day anyways. And this simple job basically involves handing out pencils, keeping an eye on the time, and making sure no one is cheating. It's a great way to make a little extra cash, but obviously it's not going to change your life. Mostly because it's not super reliable. It's not something you can count on or predict daily or weekly. The second thing that you can do is you can write other people's resumes. Every college student will eventually need a resume. Even people who don't finish college are still eventually going to need a resume, assuming that they're going to need to get a job at some point. So why not take advantage of this by making resume writing your side hustle? It's actually a really, really profitable industry. Build a couple practice resumes, just use yourself as an example, and understand a record number of employers today, like one of their biggest complaints about resumes is they no longer get well-written cover letters. If you learn to not only create resumes, but also write good cover letters, you can sell that as a service to help people set themselves apart in a very competitive job market by adding really well-written cover letters. And then just figure out an amount that you want to charge per document. You'll be surprised at how much you can command when you go in offering quality, well-structured, well-organized and written resumes with cover letters, because think about how valuable it is to people if you actually help them get a job. That could equal tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars, per year or per decade just to help them get the right job. And then you go post those services on your local community or freelancer website, even post it on LinkedIn, that's a big one. And there are going to be tons of people that need resume services. And especially create some templates so that when you get multiple clients in the similar industries or similar types of jobs, you can just use your templates. You don't have to recreate the whole thing from scratch every time. This is an example of how your skills as a college student are needed by so many people. And the third side hustle that you can try is actually providing after school care for children. I mean things literally like playing games with school kids or helping them with their homework. There's actually a big market and it can pay pretty well to basically just be a decent person who's good with kids. You can sign up to take care of kids before school, after school. Local schools themselves actually need these kinds of helpers in a lot of cases. A good place to look it up is on Yelp, or even just show up at schools and offer to help and see if they have positions. You will need to have, in a lot of areas, you'll need to get a police clearance that essentially certifies you to work with children. And obviously, you want to have a certain type of positive attitude, like having fun. Kids are not everybody's cup of tea. I know it's not everybody's dream job, but for certain people, either based on your personality or your future interests, let's say maybe you're an education major or a psychology major, working with kids can be a great side job. And the fourth side hustle that I have is actually being a party entertainer. Now, I know I said you didn't need any startup capital, but you might need to buy a costume for this. But assuming you have a fancy costume or you can find one at a decent price, entertaining children at birthday parties can actually be a pretty lucrative and very flexible and high quality side hustle for college students. There's actually a lot of like famous actors and people who have, if you Google it and say people who were a clown or people who entertained kids when they were getting started, there's actually like some pretty famous lists of people that did this when they were coming up, either going through college or becoming actors. So the first thing you have to do is, like anything, you get rich in the niche. You have to focus on what your specialty is going to be. Are you going to dress up as a Disney princess? Are you going to be a clown? Are you going to make balloon animals? Are you going to do magic tricks? Are you going to do face painting? Are you going to specialize in party games? You basically have to decide what you're going to focus on. You're always going to get more gigs if you can be very specific about what it is that you do. Then once you decide, advertise on local community pages, go on Facebook groups, go on Craigslist, and get ready to spend your weekend partying and getting paid. And the fifth side hustle that I have is specifically for music lovers, and this is to create playlists. So every party needs a good playlist. And think about it. Have you ever been to a party where the music was like all over the place, or it started and stopped and it just kind of sucked? Well, people actually pay to be able to go access other people's playlists. You can create your playlist and get paid for them. And I don't mean just trying to sell playlists, to your friends. I mean, you create playlists for musicians who are wanting to get their music known. So you're actually curating lesser known music, and people will basically pay you to put lesser known music onto playlists so that it helps them get exposure for their music. There's a service called Playlist Push. And this website promotes independent music for people that are curating playlists. So what you need to do is go become a curator, and it'll say you need to have around I think the minimum is 400 followers on either Spotify or Apple Music. But assuming you qualify, you can get started by actually creating a playlist. Like, you can pick hip hop, you can pick EDM, whatever type of music you're into. And then you start pushing that playlist out to your followers. You can also push it out on Reddit, another site where you get even more subscribers to your pushed playlist, and you can earn around $12 per song. So think about that. If you have a playlist of 10 independent songs that you curated, you can earn $120 per playlist. And basically, once this is all set up, it's completely passive income for doing something that, frankly, if you're into music, is pretty cool, which is checking out independent music and organizing the stuff that you like. And then along similar lines, there's another option, which is creating beats. So if music really is your thing, then imagine getting paid to go in and create beats. There actually is a big market of people online who buy beats for advertising, presentations, even YouTube channels just like this one. People will buy the license to use the beats, or sometimes they even pay extra for the exclusive rights to the beats so that no one else can use them. And they do that because you can't just go grab music from, your favorite Black Eyed Peas beat and put it in your video, or else your video will get flagged and it'll get taken down by YouTube, or maybe even by the artist. You can even get sued. So there's a whole industry out there of people basically licensing beats that don't have copyright issues. And there's a ton of how-to videos online that you can watch and learn how to do this. You can actually record your own samples onto sites like splice.com, which immediately give you access to tons of different possibilities, and they have tools to help you create your beats. And this admittedly is a side hustle that may take some time to set up, but once your beats are out there, you get to have a lot of fun, and they can be purchased anytime once they live on those sites, and it again turns, just like playlists, turns into totally passive income. And the next option, the next side hustle, is taking photos and videos. So think about all the websites out there, all the blogs, even all the social media ads. Where do they get their photos? You can't just go grab photos off Google image searches or grab video clips off of YouTube and use it in your own stuff because of copyright laws. One of the biggest marketplaces to sell stock photos is called Deposit Photos. There's also another website called Shutterstock where you can basically upload your photos and earn money whenever somebody else uses them. You can even create, like I mentioned, you can create videos that can be purchased for commercial use too. So you have sites like ArtGrid and Pialba that basically sell stock video footage, just like, frankly, some of the stuff I use in my YouTube videos. Our video team actually pulls stock video content off of these sites so that we can break it up. It's not always just me, yapping at you, right? You can submit your footage to those sites, make them available for download. And again, it's completely passive income. You'll just wake up and have a notification that you have money on its way to your bank account. The next option for a side hustle for college students is delivering food. Newsflash, college kids love takeout. Everybody loves takeout. It's like, 50 or I forget the stat, but it's like some shockingly large number. I think it's over 50% of all the meals in this country are takeout now, especially in bigger cities. So you can get paid to be a part of that economy. Go sign up with Uber Eats, Grubhub, DoorDash. You don't even have to have a car. In a lot of places, you can do it with a bike. You just wait for an order to come in, pick up the order from the restaurant, take it to the hungry person or the hungry people, and you get paid. And even if you don't just want to deal with food, there's a market for the delivery of other things like files, documents, groceries, even school supplies. If you want to get that going as a side hustle, check out Postmates, check out Instacart. It's so easy to monetize just a little extra time and a willingness to go do something that someone else isn't willing to do. Speaking of, the next side hustle is hauling junk. And really think about this one because it may spark some other ideas for you. A few years ago, an entrepreneur appeared on the TV show Shark Tank that I'm sure you've seen, and he had a little company called College Hunks Hauling Junk. Well, now that company is thriving all over the country here in the US, and it's a perfect side hustle for college students. And anybody can apply. You don't have to be some big buff dude. In fact, hunk just stands for honest, uniformed, nice, knowledgeable service. So hunks, Hunks. And basically both men and women work hauling junk from the properties of people who either don't have the physical ability or don't have the equipment or just don't have the desire to haul their trash for themselves. And if working for an existing company maybe isn't your cup of tea, let's say you want to do your own thing, then you can use your own truck, or you can even rent one when you need it and then place an ad to do your own junk hauling on Craigslist or other local service sites or community Facebook groups, etc. I really want to get you thinking of business opportunities everywhere around you. Basically, if you go around thinking, how can I create value? You are taking the first steps to becoming an entrepreneur and creating successful businesses just through simple ideas. If you like the idea of that, and would like to be surrounded by other entrepreneurs, I encourage you to check out my free Facebook group called EntreNation. I'll put a link in the description of this video for you to join us in EntreNation. So now we've covered everything from proctoring tests to children's entertainment, creating music playlists, junk hauling. I hope that all these things get you thinking and that there is something out there that you can get started with right now. Let me know in the comments if you've had any experience with any of these things or come up with your own side hustles, maybe have an idea that I didn't mention here. And I just appreciate you watching this video. If you got value from this, make sure you hit a like. I also hope that through this video, you've been able to kind of tease out the difference between the things I said that were about passive income or creating assets or that can, creating what I consider digital real estate, things that can pay you ongoing for life, or just creating working income or earned income where you trade your time for money. I have given you ideas in both categories, but you can probably guess which one I favor. Whatever skill or hobby you have, this is really the other point of this video, is not to short sell yourself or undervalue yourself. Whatever skill or hobby you have, there's a very good chance that it can be made into some sort of profitable side hustle, as long as you remember that the root word of side hustle is hustle. You actually have to get out there and hustle and do the work. And if you're willing to do that, very often you can get paid a surprisingly large amount. So thanks again. If you've gotten value out of this video, again, please do subscribe to this channel. Make sure that if you do subscribe, you hit the little bell notification icon so that you get notified when I release new videos, which I do several times a week. And I will keep sharing more ways to grow your money and develop yourself personally and ultimately becoming the most successful version of yourself possible. Thanks again for your time. I'll catch you on the next video.